In the spotlight tonight is James Knight from Middlesex, a healthcare assistant, and his specialist subject is the Duke of Wellington. Joselyn Henderson from Petersfield, a cloakroom attendant, and her subject is the horror novels of Stephen King. Jim Scott from Cambridge, a university professor, his subject, the life and works of Johannes Kepler. And Tom Rutherford from Edinburgh, a civil servant, and his subject is the West Wing. Welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. One chair, 2 rounds of questions and 4 contenders, all trying to become the nation's mastermind. As ever, they will have 2 minutes on their chosen subject and 2 minutes on general knowledge. So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
James Knight.
Your occupation?
Healthcare assistant.
And your specialist subject?
The life and career of the first Duke of Wellington.
The Duke of Wellington in 2 minutes. What did the Duke of Wellington describe as a damn nice thing, the nearest run thing you ever saw in your life?
Battle of Waterloo.
Correct. Which preparatory school on the King's Road in Chelsea did he attend prior to going to Eton in 1781?
Brown's Prep School.
Yes. Wellington gave the name of which battle when a friend asked him about the best thing he ever did in the way of fighting?
Assay.
Yes. In 1830 he received a number of threats from which mythical leader of rioting agricultural labourers after setting himself against parliamentary reform?
Captain Swing.
Correct. Wellington's first military engagement was the attempted recapture of which advanced post on the River Domnall, east of Breda, in 1794?
Boxtel.
Correct. On his return from service in India, Wellington had his one and only meeting with Nelson in the anteroom to whose office?
Castlereagh.
Yes. After which notorious incident of 1819 was Wellington a government signatory on a letter thanking magistrates for dealing with the situation?
Peterloo Massacre.
Yes. The lines of fortification constructed on his orders in 1809 and 1810 during the Peninsular War are known by the name of which Portuguese town?
Torres Vedras.
Correct. What was the name of Wellington's adjutant general in the Peninsula from whom he bought the young charger Copenhagen?
Stuart.
Yes. What name was given to the document that resulted from his 1826 negotiations with the Russians over the issue of Greek independence?
The Convention of St. Petersburg.
Yes. What answer is Wellington alleged to have given Queen Victoria when she asked how the glass pavilion for the 1851 Great Exhibition could be cleared of sparrows?
Try Sparrowhawks, Mal.
Yes. Which general commanded the Prussian First Corps when they gave decisive support to Wellington in the later stages of the Battle of Waterloo?
Blucher.
No, Seaton. At which battle against the French did he command his troops from a flat-topped hill known as the Lesser Arapile?
Salamanca.
Correct. Where in London did Wellington and the Earl of Winchelsea fight a duel on the 21st of March 1829, although both men took care to miss with their pistol shots?
Battersea.
Correct. On the 10th of September 1800, he led a cavalry charge against which Indian bandit mercenary?
Dundia War.
Correct. Wellington's last major political act, I've started so I shall finish, was to help steer which piece of legislation through the Lords on the 28th of May 1846?
Pass.
Well, I can tell you, the repeal of the Corn Laws. That one passed. James Knight, you have 14 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Joselyn Henderson.
Your occupation?
I'm a cloakroom attendant.
And your chosen subject?
The horror novels of Stephen King.
The horror novels of Stephen King. Which of Stephen King's novels was initially serialised in 6 volumes, beginning with The 2 Dead Girls in March '96?
The Green Mile.
Correct. In The Tommyknockers, why is Jim Gardner immune to the effects of the mysterious object buried in the woods?
Because he had, pass.
Which character in From a Buick 8 is nicknamed the Dragon by the men of Troop D?
Ned Maxwell.
Edith Hyams, in Firestarter, what's the name of the agent who shoots Andy McGee after John Rainbird has taken down Charlie with a dart as they leave Grantha's cabin in Tashmore?
Pass.
Having been prompted by Annie Wilkes, what idea does Paul Sheldon use to explain why Misery Chastain had fallen into a coma with the result that she was presumed dead and buried alive?
A bee sting.
Yes. What's the name of the house bought by Mr. Straker and Mr. Barlow in Salem's Lot, which is to be the subject of Ben Mears' book?
The Marston House.
Correct. In Louis Creed's Nightmare, the branches of the trees in the dead fall at the edge of the pet cemetery have turned into what?
Bones.
Yes. Which fictional document by David Congress concerning the case of Carrietta White is quoted throughout Carrie to explain the events that have taken place?
Carrie White phenomenon.
The shadow exploded. In Bag of Bones, what's the name of Mike Noonan's isolated lakeside summer house where he goes to try and rid himself of writer's block?
Pass.
What name, taken from a science fiction film, do the army scientists give to the fungus in dream capture because of the difficulty they have in destroying it?
Ripley.
Yes. In The Shining, in which room of the Overlook Hotel does Danny discover a long-dead woman in a bathtub who tries to strangle him?
Room 217.
Yes. Which player is on the signed baseball card that Brian Rusk buys from Leland Gaunt shop Needful Things for 85 cents and a promise?
Pass.
In The Dark Half, whose murder in Washington, D.C. does Sheriff Alan Pangborn accuse Thad Beaumont of being involved in?
The Senator.
Frederick Clawson. Collie Entragian, the deputy sheriff of the town of Desperation, abducts travellers on which Nevada highway?
91.
50. In The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, how does Tricia attempt to drive off, I'll finish the question, to drive off the bear in the woods before it's shot at by the deer hunter Travis Herrick?
She waves a poncho at it.
She throws her Walkman at it, in fact. You had 4 passes. Sandy Kothak was the player on that baseball card. Sarah Laughs was the name of Mike Noonan's summer house.
Yeah.
Don Jules was the name of the agent who shoots Annie McGee. And in Tommyknockers, Jim Gardner has a steel plate in his head from a teenage skiing accident. 4 passes. Joselyn Henderson, 6 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
I'm Jim Scott,
Your occupation?
professor.
And your chosen subject?
The life and work of Johannes Kepler.
Johannes Kepler in 2 minutes. Johannes Kepler was born in which imperial free city in Württemberg on the 27th of December, 1571?
Wiel der Stadt.
Yes. What was the name of the professor of mathematics and astronomy who was one of Kepler's teachers at Tübingen University?
Magister Michael Maestlin.
Yes. Kepler's first major work was a theory of cosmology based on the Copernican system and published in 1596. By what shortened title is it generally known?
Mystery of the Cosmos.
Yes. Which English ambassador, later Provost of Eton, invited Kepler to England in 1620?
Pass.
What was the name of the woman who became Kepler's second wife in 1613, having been chosen from a short list of 11?
Susanna Rutinger.
Yes. According to Kepler's story Dream, what name do moon dwellers give to the Earth?
Volva.
Yes. Kepler helped to defend which of his relatives who'd been accused of witchcraft?
His mother.
Yes. In 1604, in which constellation did he observe a bright star that's now known to have been a supernova, which was later called Kepler's star?
It's at the foot of constellation. Pass.
What was the name of the imperial mathematician who died in 1601 and was succeeded by Kepler?
Tycho Brahe.
Yes, referring to his original theory of the orbit of Mars and some of Tycho's observations, Kepler said that the discrepancy of how many minutes of arc pointed to the complete reformation of astronomy.
8 minutes.
Yes, what was the name of Kepler's son-in-law who helped him in the calculation of his ephemerides, or almanacs of celestial and other phenomena?
Jacob Bartsch.
Correct. According to Kepler's own recollections, what disease almost killed him at the age of 4?
Smallpox.
Yes. What was the title of the open letter that Kepler wrote to Galileo in April 1610, in which he supported Galileo's telescopic observations?
Pass.
Kepler travelled to which city in September 1627, hoping to sell copies of his recently completed Rudolphine tables at the Autumn Book Fair?
Pass.
At New Year 1611, he presented his friend, the court advisor Wacker von Wackenfels, with an essay on which seasonal subject?
Snowflakes.
Snowflakes, indeed. The geometry of snowflakes. You had 4 passes altogether. It was to Frankfurt that Kepler went in 1627. Dissertation cum nuncio sidereo was the title of that letter. The constellation in which he observed that bright star was Ophiuchus. And Sir Henry Wotton was the English ambassador who invited Kepler here in 1620. 4 passes, Jim Scott, 11 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Tom Rutherford,
Your occupation?
civil servant,
And your chosen subject?
The West Wing.
The West Wing. Which writer is credited with creating The West Wing but left his job as executive producer at the end of Series 4?
Aaron Sorkin.
Correct. What name does President Bartlett give to the tradition, which was started by Andrew Jackson, continued by Leo, of regularly setting time aside for White House staff to meet people with special issues?
Big Block of Cheese Day.
Yes, when Bartlett attends the funeral of the former President Owen Lassiter, he travels with Speaker Walker and which other former president?
D.W. Newman.
Yes. Over what issue does the Surgeon General, Millicent Griffith, create a major controversy during an internet question and answer session?
Legalisation of cannabis.
Correct. Which actor plays President Bartlett's former parish priest, whom he calls on for spiritual guidance when he's considering whether to stay the execution of Simon Cruz?
Carl Malden.
Correct. In the episode Holy Night, Toby's father, Jules, is revealed to have been a member of which criminal gang?
Murder Inc.
Yes, at a private White House birthday party, which part of Penn and Teller's magic act later causes the administration great embarrassment when it becomes public knowledge?
Vanishing the US flag.
Correct. In the episode 6 Meetings Before Lunch, CJ lip-syncs to which spoken jazz piece?
The Jackal.
Correct. Which state does Santos eventually win by 70,000 votes to secure victory over Vinnick in the presidential election?
Nevada.
Correct. What's the name of the former White House press secretary who served in the Clinton administration before acting as a consultant to the West Wing?
D.D. Myers.
Yes. Which secret presidential plan does Josh reveal during a White House press briefing while he's standing in for CJ, who's had dental treatment?
Plan to fight inflation.
Correct. When Bernie Dahl dies suddenly, Bartlett has to appoint Ron Ehrlich to which post despite his personal reservations?
Chairman of the Federal Reserve.
Correct. What was the title of the special episode that was aired before Season 3 began and dealt with the issue of potential terror attacks on America?
Isaac and Ishmael.
Yes, a near disaster at which nuclear plant in California during the presidential election campaign harms Vinnick's chances in his home state?
San Andreo.
Yes, who plays CJ's former classmate Marco Arlens, whom she meets again when she returns to Dayton for a school reunion?
Pass.
Which position in his administration does President-elect Santos offer to Vinnick after deciding on Eric Baker for vice president?
Secretary of State.
Correct. What reason do White House senior... Finish the question. Do White House senior staff give when they advised Bartlett not to openly display Charlie's gift of a 1709 map of Palestine?
The map doesn't show Israel.
Indeed. And the one pass you had, it was Matthew Modine, who played CJ's former classmate. One pass, Tom Rutherford, 16 points. So that's the end of the first round. Let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 6 points, Joselyn Henderson. Third place with 11 points, Jim Scott. Second place, 14 points, James Knight. In the lead with 16 points, Tom Rutherford. So the general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of it, then the number of passes get taken into account, and the contender with the fewest passes is the winner. If there's still a tie on points, well, then we have a playoff. So let's get on with the general knowledge round and ask Jocelyn to join us again, if she would, please. And you obviously are a fan of Stephen King, his horror stories. He wrote other stuff, but it's the horror stories that we all know and either love or hate, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Now, he had a terrible car crash.
Well, actually, it was a hit and run.
Right.
He was walking back to his house in Maine, and the driver says he didn't see him, but Stephen King said he was walking towards the car, and he was hit, and he broke quite a lot of bones, and they didn't think he was going to survive.
And the extraordinary thing about it is that he, as it were, foretold all of that in some of his earlier novels.
It's quite spooky, actually, because a few of the books written 10, 15 years before involve very nasty incidents with cars or being run over by trucks and things, and it's been quite a theme.
Right, well, you have 6 points with your knowledge of Stephen King. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. Here we go. The falabella, found in Argentina and only about 30 inches tall, is thought to be the smallest breed of which animal?
Pony.
Yes, horse. The city of Stirling stands on the right bank of which major river?
D.
Fourth, who started many of her diary entries with Dear Kitty, Kitty being the name of an imaginary friend?
And Frank.
Correct. Which Christmas delicacy originally contained meat and was made in the shape of a cradle as a reminder of the manger in which Jesus lay?
Mince pie.
Yes. Which is the largest island in the Svalbard archipelago in the Arctic Ocean and has a name meaning jagged peaks?
Iceland.
Spitsbergen. Who became the first Prime Minister of Zimbabwe in 1980 and the country's president in 1987?
Mugabe?
Yes, in 1911, which New Zealand-born physicist proved that there is a very dense, positively charged nucleus at the centre of the atom, whose size is tiny compared with the atom as a whole?
Pass.
Mahayana is one of the major traditions of Buddhism. What is the other, the name of which means Way of the Elders?
Pass.
What was the last film directed by David Lean, which was released in 1984, based on a novel by E.M. Forster?
Out of Africa?
A Passage to India. Which seabird got its name because its presence was believed to be a sign that bad weather was coming?
Albatross?
The Stormy Petrel. In which modern country does the heir apparent to the throne hold the title Prince of Asturias?
Greece?
Spain. What bodily function is also called sternutation?
Sneezing?
Yes. Which architect's works include the development of Regent's Park and Regent Street for his patron George, Prince of Wales?
Pass.
Which pop star began her singing career with 13 successive top 10 entries in the UK singles chart between 88 and 1991?
Britney Spears?
Kylie Minogue. Who was the first Holy Roman Emperor crowned in Rome on Christmas Day, 800 AD?
Nero?
Charlemagne. According to some sources, which composer was supposedly poisoned by his rival, Antonio Salieri?
Mozart?
Yes, Mozart it was. You had 3 passes. Nash was the architect that I was looking for. Theravada was the other major tradition of Buddhism, and Rutherford was the physicist who proved all that complicated stuff with atoms. 3 passes. Joselyn Henderson, 12 points. And now Jim Scott, please. And Kepler, a quite remarkable man.
Yes, he was.
Because he was a mathematician, really, wasn't he?
I would say he's even a Platonist. He loved not just mathematics, but especially geometry.
Where is the beauty in the subject?
When Kepler discovered that the time it takes each planet to go around the sun, that the cube of that time is exactly proportional to the square of the distance, then he realized, it's a kind of eureka moment. He realized, this must be right because it's so elegant and so simple.
Couldn't it be ugly and simple?
Absolutely, that's called politics.
Right, and we'll stop at that point, I think. you have 11 points with your knowledge of Kepler. Let's try your general knowledge. Here we go. What name is given to the soft-bodied, legless larva of various insects, typically the housefly?
They're maggots.
Yes. In which hit song did Elvis plead, "Put a chain around my neck and lead me anywhere"?
Pass.
Which novelist created Horatio Hornblower, who in the course of a series of novels rose from midshipman to rear admiral?
Pass.
Joseph Vissarionovich Djugashvili was born near Tiflis in Georgia in 1879. By what name is he best known?
Joseph Stalin.
Yes, Sir Peter Blake is one of the leading British exponents of which art movement inspired by mass-produced objects, comic books and images from advertising?
Pass.
In 1982, Antonio Cabrini became the first player to achieve which unwelcome feat in a World Cup final?
Own goal twice.
No, he missed a penalty. Which popular spring flower takes its name from the Turkish or Persian for turban?
Pass.
In the human body, what name is used for the muscles located between the ribs and surrounding the lungs?
Pectorals.
Intercostals. Which free market economist who died in November 2006 used the phrase "there's no such thing as a free lunch" as the title of one of his books?
Pass.
In which European capital was the Schönbrunn Palace built as an intended rival to Versailles?
Austria.
Vienna. Who in a Shakespeare play speaks the line, "Once more under the breach, dear friends, once more"?
Harry Hotspur.
Henry V. With which product, patented in 1869, did Hippolyte Megamorius win a competition to produce an economical substitute for butter to give to the navy and the working classes?
Margarine.
Margarine is correct. You had 5 passes. It was Milton Freeman who came up with no such thing as a free lunch. Tulips are the flowers that take their name from the Turkish for turban. Pop art is what Sir Peter Blake was a leading exponent of. C.S. Forrester created Horatio Hornblower. Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear was the Elvis Presley song. 5 passes, Jim Scott, 14 points. And James Knight. Now, please. The Duke of Wellington. He didn't much like soldiers,
He
really.
did refer to them as the scum of the earth.
Yes.
But he had a point. It was a volunteer army. You only joined up if you had nothing else to lose. If you were criminals, alcoholics, and those who, for some reason or other, had a death wish.
The other thing was they'd obviously been rather dirty, and Wellington was notoriously clean.
He did. He used to change his clothes sometimes 7 times a day.
What? On the battlefield?
Not so much on the battlefield, maybe later life in politics, definitely.
But really, he was obsessed with it then.
He was. He shaved twice a day. He refused to be interrupted whilst he was shaving, even if the enemy were coming over the hill. And he introduced the idea of daily bathing.
Well, you scored 14 points with the knowledge of the Duke of Wellington. General knowledge now. Which Scottish golfer played in 8 Ryder Cup teams between 1991 and 2006 and is unbeaten in singles matches in that competition?
Colin Montgomery?
Yes, since the mid-19th century, which Cumbrian town's been famous for its mint cake, which is popular with walkers and mountaineers?
Kendall.
Yes. What name was given to the short motion pictures of current events introduced in Britain in about 1897 by the Frenchman Charles Pathé?
Newsreels?
Yes. Which is the only member of the cat family that can't fully retract its claws?
The tiger.
The cheetah. Which scientist in an appearance on The Simpsons said, "Your theory of a donut-shaped universe is interesting, Homer. I may have to steal it"?
Hawking.
Yes. What's the common term for glossolalia, often taken as proof of divine grace during moments of religious ecstasy?
Stigmata.
Speaking with tongues, which future king was the first heir to the English throne to be given the title Prince of Wales?
Edward II.
Yes. In which ocean does the island group Tristan da Cunha lie?
Pass.
Who wrote the play The Resistible Rise of Arturo Ui, which is an allegory of Hitler's rise to power?
Pass.
Which plant disease is caused by the growth of minute fungi that produces a white powdery coating, particularly on the leaves?
Pass.
In physics, which lowercase letter is conventionally used to denote the speed of light in a vacuum?
C.
Yes. Who was the MP for the Essex constituencies of Epping from 1924 to 1945 and Woodford from 1945 to 1964?
Clement Attlee.
Churchill. Which hills in Somerset have a name thought to come from the Celtic for rim or circle?
Chiltern.
Quantox. Which blind soul and rock singer was originally billed as the 12-year-old genius?
Stevie Wonder.
Yes. What name is given to the methods of printing a design that was originally drawn onto a special plate of flat limestone with a greasy crayon?
Pass.
Which skyscraper in Chicago, built for a retail company, I'll finish the question, and completed in 1973, was the world's tallest building for over 20 years?
The Sears Tower.
The Sears Tower it was. You had 4 passes. Lithography is the name given to that printing method. Mildew is the plant disease. Brecht wrote that play, The Resistible Rise of Arturo Ui, and Tristan da Cunha is in the South Atlantic Ocean. 4 passes, James Knight, 22 points.
Thank you.
And finally, Tom Rutherford, please. And you've obviously spent a lot of your life watching The West Wing.
Probably far too much for
Well,
my
there's
own
been a
good.
lot of it, hasn't there? 7 seasons, 22 episodes apiece.
Yeah.
Wow. The West Wing was, in some ways, very credible, in others, utterly ridiculous. I mean, the idea that all the great decisions are taken while everybody's racing around the corridors. I mean, it's crazy. It doesn't work like that, does it?
I don't know that it's
Well,
necessary.
you're a civil servant, aren't you?
I'm a civil servant. Certainly up in Edinburgh, we still have tables and chairs and we still make decisions
Quite.
there. But we do walk and talk to a certain extent, but it's generally office gossip rather than any
Exactly.
major foreign policy decisions like which country to invade next or
quite.
something like that.
Yeah. Now, Martin Sheen was a very credible president, and one wonders whether that's partly because he was also very politically active himself. Could have gone into politics.
He could well have gone into politics. He has an activist record. He's been arrested on a number of occasions for protesting at military bases and the like.
Didn't somebody want him to become or run for senator?
I think some activist groups have suggested that he run for senator. Some have even... there is a website, Sheen for President, I believe, but I'm not sure it's realistic. I think he has ruled himself out on several occasions.
Right, well, you have at the moment 16 points. You have to beat 22 points. So let's see if you can do that with your general knowledge. Here we go. What is the alternative, more familiar name of the Zaire River?
Congo.
Yes, the title of which television sci-fi series featuring Captain Jack Harkness is an anagram of Doctor Who?
Torchwood.
Yes, which Roman god whose name derives from the Latin word for gate is the guardian of doorways and openings and is usually depicted with two faces looking in opposite directions?
Johannes.
Yes, what is the name of the particle that has the same mass as an electron but an equal and opposite electric charge?
Positron.
Yes, the pica, found in North America, Asia and Eastern Europe, is a close relative of which native British mammal?
Fox.
No, a rabbit or a hare. Which German dish was called Liberty Cabbage in America during the First World War?
Sauerkraut.
Correct. Who was the acting leader of the Labour Party after the death of John Smith and before the election of Tony Blair?
Margaret Beckett.
Correct. Which popular website founded in San Mateo, California in 2005 has the slogan "Broadcast yourself" and allows users to upload, share and view video clips?
YouTube.
Yes. Which novel by Ernest Hemingway takes its title from John Donne's Devotions upon Emergent Occasions?
Pass.
In the Rugby League Challenge Cup final, what's the name of the trophy awarded to the man of the match?
Lance Todd Trophy.
Yes. Which 2006 Martin Scorsese film stars Jack Nicholson as the gangster Frank Costello?
The Departed.
Yes. Whose opera The Queen of Spades, with a libretto by his brother Modest, was first performed in St. Petersburg in 1890?
Pass.
Which regular plane figure has internal angles of 108 degrees?
Pentagon.
Yes, in the French Revolution, what was the name of the political body created in 1793 that exercised virtual dictatorial control over France during the Reign of Terror?
Committee for Public Safety.
Correct. Which band was formed in Las Vegas by Brandon Flowers and Dave Koenig and topped the UK album charts in October 2006 with Sam's Town?
Pass.
In the human body, which joint is formed by the femur meeting with the tibia?
Knee.
Yes. What's the common name of the climbing garden plant Lathyrus odoratus, a flowering member of the legume family?
Virginia Creeper.
Sweet pea. Which Northumberland castle, the home of the Percy family since 1309, was used for some of the exterior shots of Hogwarts in the first two Harry Potter films?
Alnwick.
Alnwick Castle it was. You had 3 passes. The Killers was the band formed in Vegas. Tchaikovsky had a brother called Modest. I didn't know that. Anyway, the Ernest Hemingway novel was For Whom the Bell Tolls. 3 passes, but you had enough right. Tom Rutherford, 29 points. So, at the end of the contest, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 12 points, Joselyn Henderson. In 3rd place with 14 points, Jim Scott. 2nd place with 22 points, James Knight. In 1st place, 29 points, Tom Rutherford. Which means, of course, that Tom Rutherford goes through to the next round. Congratulations to him. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Well, the fish course next. Great British menu continues with the week chefs from the Central region.